The Disrupt Education vlog can be found on YouTube. To hear it in podcast form, search Disrupt Education on any of the following podcast platforms: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Spotify, or Stitcher. Welcome to this episode of Disrupt Education. Today I have Luke Ellington. How are you, buddy?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Let's get started with you just telling us about who you are.
All right. Well, I'm Luke Ellington. I am the founder of Trade Tools. It's a company that I created because I've always done a lot of home projects, a lot of stuff like that. I did a lot of fix-it stuff with my dad, and I've been on very long trips to Home Depot to rent some annoying tool and then trying to fit it in the car and bring it back all the way. And I just figured that there was so many people who just had it in their garage, and I knew so many people who was like, oh, my neighbor has this. And I figured if we could connect all of those people together, it would be great.
Run us through, because you've been working on this in high school and you're out of high school now. Run us through kind of, how you came to this idea. Obviously, you're saying you're running to Home Depot and working, trying to find tools, etc. And you found a better way. And then, what does the app do, or the website do?
So the app connects neighbors with other people, their neighbors around them, who have tools sitting in their garage. So let's say if you needed a chainsaw or something to delimb a tree in your yard, and you don't have a chainsaw, you don't want to go buy one, it's like $100, it doesn't seem worth it for the one project. Well, you can go on my app, look up chainsaw, see a map of who's closest to you, and drive over to someone's garage 2 or 3 blocks away, pick up the chainsaw for $20, use it for the day, return it, and the person who just had a tool sitting in their garage is making money off something they weren't even using.
That's fantastic. I named it kind of the Uber of just working tools in neighborhoods, really.
Yeah, it's a big part of the sharing economy. I think is that's definitely growing. You see things like Airbnb, and then you can rent other people's cars, and there's a lot of things like that. I think people are less interested in owning their own things and are more interested in the practicality of what owning used to mean.
So you're a young guy. I had you in class a few years back. Tell us a little bit about your educational path and how you got to where you are right now.
Well, I realized pretty early that I'm not a big fan of traditional education, I guess. I've never been a fan of just sort of unnecessary red tape or anything like that. I always wanted to prove what I could do and put that to use as quickly as possible. And I just didn't see the path through college and through all of the hoops that you needed to be successful today as necessary for what I wanted to do with my future. I always enjoyed learning. I enjoyed a lot of those elements of school, but just all of the things that are built around it that involve just judging you based on standardized curriculums that don't really understand students. I feel like too many people fall through the holes, and I think and you can see that with any great CEOs or people that change the world with what they invented is they usually had a bad time in high school or didn't, and not even because they were nerds or something, but because it didn't work for them. The way that the world was trying to teach them wasn't helping them. Yeah. But clearly that means that the teaching was at fault because they went on to do incredible things.
Right.
So I think, and that's why I gravitated to your class and the way that you taught things differently, because it focused a lot more on what you actually needed to get done and what success meant and how to get there.
It was fantastic having you in class. And by the way, this is the first high school PSM1 certificate holder in the nation sitting right next to me, right? Tell us a little bit about that path, because you wanted to prove to yourself that you could do this, and you actually weren't in that class at the time. You were doing that on your own. Tell us a little bit about how you got that.
So I heard about what you guys were doing. You and Mr. Allen were training some kids to take the PSM1 test, and it was about project management. I always liked project management. I've tried to be the manager of a lot of projects that I've done, and so I figured that if this was this new agile style of project management that changed the game and changed how people think about it, I figured it would be a great opportunity to see what I know, what I can learn, and prove that I'm capable of doing things that most adults would not believe that I'm capable of doing.
That's exactly, and it was amazing how you did that. on your own. We had one other student at the time got their PSM1 through the projects that we were working on. That stands to a testament of how you are a person who, look, I'm going to do this, and when you put your head to it, like you really can. You put the blockers on the side, and you just work through it, which is pretty amazing. Which leads me then to, you kind of alluded to it a little bit in education and how it fails people. So on the flip side, if you had your choice of how to create an educational system, or one piece of an educational system, or something big that you would change, what would Luke do?
I think our current education system is just a little bit too old. It is equipped for a job market that no longer exists. I think there was a time when a certain set of skills would get you into college, and that college would get you a job, and you would have a guaranteed success. But now we're seeing that I think it's like 50% of college graduates are underemployed for their degree. Mm-hmm. So people are going through to college, but the job market just isn't there for them. And because the job market requires something a little more original, I guess, or less of the same system, I think it requires a school that is more open to different people. If the job market isn't uniform, then the teaching can't be either, and you have to account for that, and you have to account for individual students. Mm-hmm. And I think OPRF, where I went, is a very good school. It has a lot of funding. It's done very well, but I think there's always been this shift, and you can definitely see it now, towards social emotional learning and things like that, which are very good, but they sort of ignore a practical aspect mm-hmm. of learning that people still need to have. There are a lot of very useful trades that aren't getting pushed at all, despite the fact that those jobs will not be automated anytime soon. Right. They're non-repetitive work, so they'll last forever. And that's an incredible opportunity. That is really a good job guarantee, but it's a little different than what people want it to be. It seems like you're not reaching your maximum educational potential. Right. But if the job market is the way it is, then we need to view the school as something that's setting you up for all the different paths that you could go down.
Got it. Where can people find you, the website, the app, your company, as it evolves, because it's evolving?
Yes, so www.tradetools.us is where the domain is. The website is not up quite yet, but should be up within a month or so, mm-hmm. At which time we will be launching. We're going to be putting some newspaper articles out, and we're just going to be letting everybody know. We'll be putting it out on Facebook and everything as soon as that happens. If you are interested in tracking our progress, we have an Instagram and a Facebook. Mm-hmm. If you look up Trade Tools, you will find it. Mm-hmm. And that's where our updates are being posted, and that's probably the best place to find us.
That's fantastic. We'll put these up down below, the video and the audio. Luke, I can't thank you so much for
having me.
Enough to being on the Disrupt Education. As I started this, you were early on in the game when I started Disrupt Education, and seeing your path and walking in here today and understanding that you're actually taking a vision, not only in the incubator class that kind of helped you a little bit with that, but you are taking this idea and you're continuing with it, and it's going to be successful. I just can't wait to see it happen, man. So I appreciate you, and thank you so much for disrupting education.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thanks for everything, the doors you opened, when the way you look at education and the way you look at learning.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we'll talk to you later on Disrupt Education.